Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because, well, we're looking at something that is quite literally hiding in plain sight. When you think of a shipping container, a massive warehouse, or a fleet of semi-trucks, you probably think of the ultimate physical world, right? Heavy steel, diesel fumes, endless cardboard. But actually, scratch that. I want you to look at them completely differently today. Think of them as a modern-day Trojan horse. Because what we see as this massive, clunky physical world of logistics is actually concealing a hidden, incredibly complex, and highly lucrative digital matrix. Okay, let's dive right into this. The sheer scale of what we call this invisible industry is honestly almost hard to comprehend. Take the B2B live events sector, for instance. All those massive conventions and trade shows happening around the globe, that alone generates a mind-boggling $1.3 trillion in sales. And it's all powered by a completely unseen back-end logistics network that's tracking everything from physical floor operations to automated dwell times. Or consider the Sant Jordi Book Festival in Catalonia. In just a single day, one day, the logistics apparatus flawlessly moves over 2 million books. That's 70,000 different titles across 1,000 different delivery points, all based on crazy, volatile, localized consumer demand. That is a living, breathing logistics operation in action.
So, Section 1, Anatomy of a Shipment. Let's go below the surface of our proverbial iceberg here to reveal how the physical movement of all these goods systematically translates into high-fidelity digital signals.
What you're looking at is the multi-layered Internet of Things, or IoT technology stack. And it all starts right down at the ground level, the device. We're talking sensors, RFID tags, and smart containers physically strapped to the goods. Next up is connectivity. These devices use 4G, 5G, or even satellite links when they're, floating out in the middle of the ocean, just to beam their findings upward. All that data then lands in the cloud, aggregating these massive, diverse, geographical streams into one central place. And finally, the whole shebang reaches the application layer, those slick analytics dashboards where humans and algorithms actually sit down and make decisions. It's an absolutely relentless, cross-border data capture machine moving straight from the physical dirt to the digital sky.
And across a shipment's entire journey, from the very first origin tagging all the way down to proof of delivery, there are 7 absolutely critical touchpoints. At every single stage, really specific technologies, like mobile telematics during pickup or those crazy smart shelf systems at the warehouse, are deployed to capture key data. We aren't just moving a wooden pallet from point A to point B anymore, guys. We are continuously generating a high-resolution digital twin of that exact pallet across every single operational node. It's kind of like a giant puzzle coming together in real time.
Now, that digital twin is built from 5 distinct, continuous data dimensions. First, we have location, tracking GPS and geofences. Then we have condition, monitoring things like temperature and vibration, which, by the way, is absolutely crucial for sensitive cargo like medicine. Next is identity, telling us exactly what the item actually is. Then status, keeping a close eye on engine health and fuel levels. And finally, behavior, which monitors driver speeds and braking patterns. When these 5 dimensions intersect, they literally map the exact metabolic rate of global physical commerce. Moving right along to Section 2, breaking the paper bottleneck, because directly clashing against this hyper-modern satellite-linked data architecture we just talked about are some shockingly archaic legacy practices that are actively paralyzing global trade today.
Get this, 1450. The printing press was barely even a thing yet, but that is the exact year the analog, physical, paper bill of lading was created as a receipt for maritime cargo. And shockingly, no way this should be true, in our current era of AI and satellite tracking, this 15th century maritime receipt still dictates roughly 40% of all global containerized trade transactions today. 40%.
The friction this causes is just staggering. Just one international shipment can require 50 sheets of physical paper to be exchanged among 30 different entities. Talk about a massive operational bottleneck, right? And it's not just slowing down trade, it's a legitimate environmental disaster. By digitizing just one of these documents into an electronic bill of lading, we prevent 27.9 kilograms of greenhouse gas emissions. How? Because it curbs unnecessary transport and stops those heavy vehicles from just sitting there idling at ports while they wait for paper administrative clearances. But here's the kicker. Even when the industry tries to digitize, it hits a massive wall of legacy tech. For decades, the gold standard was EDI, which was literally established back in the 1960s. It's rigid, it processes in these super delayed batches, and it's incredibly expensive to set up. Compare that directly to modern APIs, which offer flexible, real-time, highly scalable cloud connectivity. The industry is currently fighting this massive data integration dilemma, desperately trying to move from those clunky, siloed 1960s networks to modern APIs just to achieve true, real-time operational visibility. All right, Section 3, Taming the Bullwhip Effect. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how we can take all this B2B tech jargon we've been talking about and apply it to a major, catastrophic, real-world problem. You're probably all familiar with the bullwhip effect, right? It's that classic nightmare scenario where a tiny retail demand shift turns into a massive, distorted wave by the time it finally hits the manufacturer. But I want you to look at it through the lens of data. This entire phenomenon really only exists because legacy systems just don't talk to each other in real time. The retailer overorders just to play it safe, the distributor panics, and the manufacturer gets hit with an absolute tsunami of false demand. It leads to empty store shelves, massive inventory imbalances, and cascading production delays. It's a complete mess. So what's the antidote here? Well, it's data liquidity. It basically means establishing a single, uncorrupted source of demand truth across all those different organizational boundaries. By using modern APIs and blockchain transparency, the raw material supplier can actually see the exact retail point-of-sale data in real time. This free flow of data effectively dampens that volatility before it can artificially amplify. It nips it right in the bud. Which brings us to Section 4, AI and predictive logistics. Because once we achieve that data liquidity, we unlock a completely new era. The successful integration of these vast data architectures is honestly the foundational fuel for the artificial intelligence revolution we're seeing in logistics right now. Take customs auditing, for example. Historically, human auditors can only manually check about 5 to 10% of shipping entries. It's just too much volume. But when a company like Flexport deploys an AI custom auditor, they audit 100% of entries prior to government submission. 100%! This technological leap drops their entry error rate to an incredible 0.2%. The explicit trajectory here is the comprehensive automation of 80% of all mundane manual logistics tasks by the year 2025. And trust me, we are moving way beyond just automating paperwork. We are actively entering the realm of agentic orchestration. Platforms like Project 44 are no longer just showing you where your freight is on a map. They are deploying embedded AI agents to autonomously execute consequential workflows. These algorithms are coordinating complex decisions in real time, yielding up to a 75% acceleration in sourcing cycles and literally cutting manual coordination by 70%. The software is actually making the decisions for us. This shift from descriptive visibility, just knowing what happened, to prescriptive intelligence, knowing exactly what to do about what's going to happen, is profound. Predictive analytics can now use vibration and temperature sensor data to mathematically forecast a truck's hardware failure before the engine actually breaks down on the highway. This shifts physical asset management from being reactive to prescriptive, reducing maintenance costs by up to 25%. Furthermore, dynamic routing algorithms are constantly evaluating weather and traffic, cutting total miles driven by 8%. To put that into perspective, that literally saves millions of dollars in fuel and prevents catastrophic fleet downtime. So the crucial point here is, with all of this highly integrated, incredibly valuable data flowing around the world, logistics has a massive target painted on its back. It is now the 9th most targeted industry for cyber attacks globally. Because this digital wealth is so critical to the global macroeconomy, it's a prime target for ransomware. Consequently, having rigorous, cryptographically secure data privacy is no longer just some IT housekeeping chore. It is a major competitive advantage that dictates who actually wins the biggest enterprise contracts for sure. And that perfectly tees up the climax of our explainer today, Section 5, the third profit source. We are hitting the very bottom of the iceberg now, exploring the massive paradigm shift where the data itself becomes the primary product. Think of the iceberg theory of logistics costs. The quote here really hits the nail on the head. Visible expenses represent only the tip. Beneath the surface lies a massive volume of invisible costs. We're talking invisible financial bleeding, administrative overhead, idle assets, in totally disconnected systems. By using data to eradicate these hidden inefficiencies, logistics companies are opening up entirely new, high-margin profit avenues. And they're doing this through data monetization. This is a real game changer. If you are a logistics provider today, your internal intelligence is now a product you can sell. Instead of just using data internally to, say, cut fuel or maintenance costs, Companies are actively packaging their internal supply chain intelligence and selling it as a highly profitable external subscription service. Because, let's face it, supply chain disruptions cost companies millions, so external suppliers are highly willing to pay top dollar for predictive, risk-mitigating intelligence. The perfect case study for this is Zenida. They built this incredible platform that aggregates crowdsourced shipping data. Initially, they just asked shippers to share their pricing data to kind of see the wider market trend. But once they hit critical mass, the idea spread like wildfire, and they transformed that digital exhaust into a highly profitable dual revenue market intelligence engine. They brilliantly illustrate how the digital exhaust of a single shipping container, just the data it leaves behind in its wake, becomes an intrinsic market value that is entirely distinct from the physical freight inside it. Which leaves us right here. It is an entirely new world out there on the supply chain. When you realize that the data generated by the movement of goods can actually be monetized and packaged as a product, you really have to ask yourself, when the digital exhaust becomes more valuable than the cargo itself, who really rules global trade? I hope this explainer has completely flipped your perspective and leaves you rethinking the invisible digital infrastructure moving all around you every single day. Thanks so much for joining us. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.